Hello everyone, Charles Rose here, bringing you a very late FFBE news update. So we've had, what was that, maybe like 5 days ago, yeah, a new patch. So here are the information for the new units. You probably already know about them. If you've been lucky, you got the units. So we have, this is the second part of the Season 4 unit. So after Tyvis, now we are getting Blades of Revolution, Rus, and Snovlinka. So let's get right into it with Rus. So he is very expectedly a water unit, also an earth unit, but he's got also lightning and light. So pretty much the cool elements now, except water that is, I guess, trying to make a comeback with him. Well, I mean, should I say thanks to him? For the rest, he has Gathering, Guardians, Elite Soldiers, and Sword Masters. I guess not too bad. Not Rebellion for Lightning, and not Saviors, sadly, for Light. But you know, it's serviceable. I guess he is mostly good for his Guardian coverage, I would say, with water especially. Um, well, you know, just like quickly thinking like that, I didn't really put any thought in this for hours, even though I had days to think about it. Don't blame me, I'm not a meta slave. Or can I say, I'm not a meta leader. I'm not going to say slave, that's bad. Anywho, so let's look at his TMR. So his TMR is just a materia, which gives 50% aquatic and machine killer, also gives 50% dual wielding equipment attack, and makes the normal attack hit 2 times, which is somewhat relevant with him when we'll look at his kit a little later, you'll see. His STMR is another 113 attack accessory, so like Lightning's STMR forever ago. Also gives 30% MP, and also 50% Aquan Killer, and it gives him some flat stats. His vision card is just an old vision card, not even upgraded, nothing worth mentioning. It's the one with the robot, Wisnelica's, and old Bruce, like the first ones. And his EX3 materia is 50% overkiller for aquatics. Gee, I wonder what the race is for Dark Visions this week. For his kit, if we have a look, he is, well, as you can guess, a dual wielder, equipping swords, the usual. I guess I don't even know why I'm mentioning that. I'm never mentioning that. Whatever. At EX1, he will get the classic 500% LB damage buff. At EX2, he gets a 300% water amplify for both himself and a friend. Then he gets also a 300% earth and light amplify only for himself. So then lightning gets dropped in terms of amplify for him. But in terms of imperils, he is bringing a 300% water and lightning imperil. So he can't support himself with lightning imperil, but he can help somebody else so long as they can amplify him. You know, classic, you know, just leaving a hole in a unit's kit. For the rest of his kit, he has the usual. He has a 300% Aquan Killer for himself and a friend, a 300% Machine Killer for himself and a friend. He has a 2-stack Mirage, AoE obviously. Other than that, the classic here with the elements. He has a 200% Imperil Field for lightning and water, so he can bring you a 500% Imperil for both these elements. He has a very mysteriously chosen 3-stack Mirage on a cooldown, and also gives 100% water resist. So this is only for Dark Visions, because the boss, the final boss in Dark Visions on turn 1 will do a 3-time physical attack that cannot be provoked. Sorry, not provoked. It's AoE. Cannot be covered. Oh my god, covered. Yes. So it cannot be covered. So with this, you can avoid completely the damage. Otherwise, you're going to need some good mitigations to survive it. Well, not survive it, but you know, not take any damage penalty for it. Other than that, he also has a Magnus ability that provides a tag team, so a tag chain on a specific ability. And the specific ability, I guess, is only for this here, which is another cooldown that gives to everyone. So this is for everyone as well. So everyone in the party will also, and then will be tag chaining using this ability here. And it is actually a pretty decent ability-ish, from what I can remember. We'll see in a minute. He has for himself here, he can get some tag chaining for his abilities as well, with 100% amplify for all his elements. He can give 80% ice, water, and dark resist to everyone and increase resistance to blind, because why not? 60% sword and peril. Here, his, well, not chaining ability, but yeah, that thing, uh, which can be dual wielded, I believe. Because it doesn't say it can't, but it cannot be multicasted though. If you look at the multicast, this cannot be multicast. So I guess you can only dual wield it, which would be if you use it 9 times, a total modifier of 26,000, which is actually pretty decent. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm not a big math wizard, but that is actually pretty high for a regular chaining ability, but you can't cast anything else with it, so it's only that on that turn, and it would only be a 16 hits, as opposed to a full 24 if you are using like chaining abilities on other units. He has also a 1000% stat buff for himself and a friend on that Magnus ability, and also 160% machine and aquatic killer, that is AoE. So he can give 300% to himself and a friend, and 160 to the rest of the party. Oh, he has quadcast also. Wow. I don't know why that apparently popped at the very end, but there it is. For the rest, in terms of passives, he got all the classic. He has a boost ability, boost skill. Sorry, his boost skill is just LB fill. So for the first 3 turns, he will have his LB ready. He has some evasion and some chain speed. Otherwise, that is pretty much it. And the chaining, oh yeah, sorry. His physical attack is the thing that's kind of interesting. That's why I said it was kind of worth, and I'm doing air quotes here, taking a look at it. So it is a 12 hit attack that will be used twice because he's dual wielding. And then if you're using his TMR, which is a materia, he will be using it 4 times, which at the very max would be 16,400 times modifier, and would be a 48 hit chain. So for just a regular attack, it is actually pretty good, and it's going to fill his LB gauge by 24, so it's almost a half fill. You just need to have some LB fill per turn, and it's going to be pretty decent. And the chaining ability he gives to people here is an 8,000 times modifier, which is, like, not crazy, but not bad either. And I think people said that it could be dual wielded as well. So that would be wow, that would be something crazy to chain though. 48 hits, I don't know how that would work. It's probably just, wow. What would that be? I don't know. If anyone has roofs, feel free to let me know if that works, if it's chainable at all, and if it can be dual wielded. But as someone pointed out, if you have a unit that's there for some support and giving some LB modifier buff to other people, like Warrior of Light, he could be using this instead of his really, really bad LB. And that could be actually maybe better. I think that was Bubonics in Discord that was saying that. If you're listening to this video and if you tested it, please let me know how that worked in the comments down below. Now, his leader skill is a 2,000% stat buff for Guardians. So only Guardians. His overdrives as usual. So he has the self 1000% stat buff, 50% category buff, and 400% LB damage buff for himself only, counting down with Guardian units. And then for other allies, he will have a overdrive field for 100% category amplify for Guardian units as well. So he's all in with Guardians, which is something I can actually really appreciate, because we've seen so many units with those mismatch in categories with leader skill and 2 overdrives, and it's a headache to try and make them fit together in a team. Well, this one at least, Roos is really going all in Guardians, so that works a lot better. His LB now is a non-elemental LB, which is very nice. And it's the classic 2025 times modifier. And yeah, can that be a tag chain? Let's just go see. Omnibus. The tag chain thing that he was giving. Nope, he cannot. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. It can be a tag chain as well. Pretty nice. So it can be a tag chain too if you're using this the turn before. So this ability the turn before your LB, and then the LB will be a tag chain. But yeah, that would be it for Ruse. Next, we can go look at Legend of Origin Snovlinka. So Snovlinka is coming back with her, and the same look at her as her other NV Plus unit. Her categories are Dark, Wind, Earth, and Light. So Earth and Light are pretty big right now. Wind, I guess, is okay if you have the right units. And Dark is absolutely abysmal, but there it is. Because she has Harbinger of Chaos. So she has to have Dark. So now she has, in terms of other categories, she has Blessing of the Crystals, Royal Arms, Harbinger of Chaos, Guardians, Saviors, Flowers of the Battlefield, Swordmasters, Transcendent. Do you want more? That's all she has, but that's a truckload, is what she has. She has so many categories, she will fit in just about any team you have. She is a Guardian, so she can go with Ruse, even though she's not water. They can fit on Light together. She is Harbinger of Chaos, so she can be a good support for a Dark team. She is a Saviors with Light. She is a Transcendent with Earth and Flowers of the Battlefield as well, so very, very flexible in my opinion, which I very much like. I like flexible units. Now, in terms of her TMR, she has an accessory which gives a 50% fairies and insect killer, which are actually pretty niche killers, so that's pretty nice. I wouldn't say to, run and try to get 5 copies of it, but maybe more than one would be good. The stats aren't that great, but the killers are very niche, so that could probably be something that will fill a slot at some point down the line if you're out of materia to fill the killer for a unit. Also gives her flat stats. Her STMR is a materia, which gives 50% attack and magic, and also 100% machine and aquatic killer. So as you can see, they're going all in on machines and aquatics with this patch. So 100% killer is very, very good. And machines, we have a couple of 100% machine killer out there. But I think this is the first one that actually gives stats. Because the other ones were, I think one was 50% equipment attack for the 100% machine. And the rest were either nothing at all or some MP regen per turn. So some stats, yay! The vision card for her, I believe, is the one, the one whose magic music is playing in the background right now. So the old Snovlinka card, so no one cares, as usual. And her EX3 materia is 50% machine over killer. So once again, aquatic and machine are getting their ass kicked in this patch. So for her, sadly she can only equip swords, so her equipment is, I guess, a little bit more limited, but swords are alright anyway. So EX1, the 500% doubly damage buff, I don't know why I still keep mentioning that, because I don't think this is changing anymore. EX2, she gets a 300% wind amplify for herself. She also gets a 300% dark imperil, and she also gets a 300% amplify for earth, light, and dark for herself and a friend, meaning that she finally supports all her elements in terms of amplifies, which is very surprising. Once again, flexibility, yay! Next she has the classic. She has a yeah. This one's oh I the eh. Am I ever gonna finish that sentence? God only knows. So she has an ability here with a perfect dispel, which is only for one ally, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown. We have units who have that on demand, or even has as a passive abilities by now. But she needs to have this on a single target on a cooldown. Might save you at some point. Who knows? She has that. Might come in handy. Probably never will. But just know that she has that. And once more, she has a perfect dispel for the enemy. But it's a single target once more. But at least this one is on demand. Next, she has, the classic for her elements. And then she has a field. So she has a 200% amplify for light and a 200% imperil for earth and dark. So be careful. So this is one amplify field for light, to go with, I guess, season 3 Fina, or for people like me who don't have Barts, although I did randomly pull him yesterday, so I can't say that I don't have Barts anymore. He's just EX1. Anywho, and she has Earth and Dark Imperil on another field. So Earth, for people who don't have Roka, or maybe who don't want to use Roka on a team because she's not Savior, or Guardian either, I think. Yeah, anyway. She also has here a 150% amplify for all her elements to herself, which also give a modifier buff to her chaining ability. She has a 15,000 HP barrier, which also give silence and confuse resistance, so that can come in handy every now and then. She has a 400% LB damage buff for everyone in the party, which can be pretty nice on the longer fight. I have used it in the Tato Omega fight, and I'm actually going to make a video for that later to just show you guys my clear, if that can help anyone, because the fight is a little bit frustrating, because they make those fights tanky as hell. You just got to be patient. The boss is not really a threat, it's just a bit annoying because it's long. But you'll see, if I can do it, anyone can. I'll show you that later tonight. She also has another ability here. When she is not busy getting ready for anything and other people are bursting on a turn, she can give someone a 500% attack and magic buff, fill their LB to full, 500% LB damage buff, 200% amplify to all her elements as well. So say you have somebody else who's going to be chaining, well, everybody else is going to be chaining on that turn except her. She can give that to someone whose LB wasn't fully filled, and then they can join in on the fun as well, for some good damage. Well, let's say serviceable damage. Next she has imbues, and once again, for people who don't have Bards, those are a little bit Bards style imbues and amplify. So it is to everyone, removes all the imbues and will imbue with the element and give a 100% amplify instead of a 200% like Bart's, but it's not as expensive to use because Bart's is pretty MP hungry. But if you don't have Bart's, she's a good option for her elements as well. So she has that for all 4 of her elements. She has the very sought after 300% aquatic and machine killer for the entire party. So if you have her, you don't need Ruse for the killers, if she fits in the party anyway. She has a 91% break. So as I said, with her field, she kind of invalidates Roka, because she has the breaks as well. So if you're using Earth, you might not need to use Roka if you have her, and your Roka is not good or not fitting with the overdrives, because that's why I found mostly with Roka, finding a good fit with the overdrives was a little tricky sometimes. So up to you, depending on the units you have and the team you have. She has also an on-demand 90% break. It's defense and spirit break, not attack and magic. Same for the 91%, by the way. And also imperil 180% to all 4 of her elements, and 50% sword imperil at the same time. She also has a, oh, and that one was on demand, by the way. She also has a 60% sword in peril once per fight. And lastly, her chaining ability with a modifier of 11,000 times, was it? Yeah. 11,000 times. And it's single cast when dual wielded. So absolute garbage compared to what Ruse is offering, which is pretty weird, actually. Anyway, moving on. In terms of her passives, what did she have? She has a boost ability. Oh yeah, she has a boost ability which gives her only a 1 million, was it 10 million, something. Very big HP barrier for the first 3 turns. And also she will deal a fixed 10% HP damage to all enemies for the first 3 turns as well. Which is very handy against a very bulky boss, as we will see later tonight. Otherwise, she has some chain speed, which is pretty much a standard for dual wielders now because she is a dual wielder. I forgot to mention that as well. So she's a dual wielder and yeah, some chain speed. That's it. For the rest, her regular attack is nothing to mention this time compared to Ruse, and the rest is just the standard. Her leader skill is actually, I was about to say pretty good, but not that great because you're never gonna have a team combining these 2 tags, I think. But anyway, 2000% stat buff for Saviors and Harbinger of Chaos, but having having a 2000% for Saviors is pretty good if you are using a light team, because I think even Earth, I think, can be usable with Saviors now. Don't quote me on that though, because I am not the meta leader here. Her overdrives are sadly a little unfortunate, I will say, because both are only for herself. So she has one that will count down with Saviors and one that will count down with Harbinger of Chaos. Both are the same. So it's 1000, the usual 1000% stat buff, 50% category amplify, and 400% LB damage buff for herself only. If I haven't said it 1,000 times, I haven't said it once. Her LB is a multi-elemental LB, so you get to choose the element you want, and once again, it is the same, nothing really worth mentioning in it. She doesn't have any tag chaining, she doesn't have anything else great in it. It is the 2025 times modifier, which is the classic meta now. For other news, we have also some EX abilities for some units. So we have Van Harma, who had a NV Plus Awakening before, and now he is getting some EX abilities. I'm going to need to do some math here. Bear with me, because he is getting some extra LB modifier. And I need to calculate what he gets from his equipment as well. So that's 150 here. 150. Blah, blah, blah. 295, which he is getting here, so an extra 145. So at 295. Another EX bonus ability here, which is a 90% defense and spirit break, along with an 87% attack and magic break. 200% earth in peril, and 60% axe in peril, which is pretty good. What else? For the rest is pretty much the same. This is also getting a modifier buff, but we'll look at that in a minute. So I was at 295 for his LB, and he gets this here. We're gonna look at that in a minute. So he gets this as well. So I just don't want to forget the modifier buff he's getting. So he's getting extra 300, so that is 595. So altogether 595, let's just say 600. Oh, it's not actually not that great. So that brings him to, wow, math ulti. 216 plus 300. I think he can get the extra 100 from Jesus' STMR, Last Will's STMR. and Reagan's STMR, like the old materia, so that would also give him another extra 100. So 695. Oh my god, I'm not helping myself. Yeah, I think that is bringing him pretty much. Oh my god. Pulling out my phone, calculator, that's it. I need to do this. Bear with me. So 255 plus 150 plus 100 and 300. Oh, actually, it's bringing him to a 1900 times modifier, which is better than the usual EX abilities or crown units we've had lately. So not bad. And in terms of his chaining ability, that cooldown that he has an extra. Is that counted in there? No, those are all the same. No, it is counted there. So 250 and this, so that's 9,700. Well, nothing to write home about anyway. Yeah, no. Nothing really good in his chaining anyway, sadly. So that would be it for Van Harma. Oh, he gets... Did he get some... I think he gets... No, he doesn't get any flat stats there. Oh well. Now Ihana is also getting some EX abilities. So for Ihana, she's only a support. You can't expect too much for her. So she's getting a 500% stat buff along with a 400% LB damage buff, which is pretty nice actually. She's getting the light version of the Celeste mitigations, so 75% of physical and magic and 50% of general. She's also getting a 300% LB damage field, which is pretty good. And aside from that, I think that's all. Yeah, that's all she's getting. Now, once again, another support unit, White Mage of Benediction Rosa. For her, it's just some support stuff. So she gets a triple cast, which was very sorely needed for her in terms of helping with the LB fill and, ability efficiency. She gets also the same thing as Ihana for the stat buffs and LB buff. But in terms of fields instead, what she's getting is a 100% amplify field for light. So 100% is kind of out of style by this point, but for an old unit, can be useful at times. And I don't think she was getting anything else because no one has ever used her for damage. Now Red Wing Cecil is also getting some EX abilities. Sorry. For him, nothing helps. There's nothing helping his tanking side. It's only for damage. So he is getting an extra 200 times modifier to his LB, 400% LB damage buff, and 200% dark amplify because he was a dark unit, let's remember. He also gets a 100% dark amplify field to replace his own LB damage field, which is useless at this point. So that was 200 times, right? Yeah, 200 times. And he gets an EX ability here with, he gets an extra 2,000 spirit for his tanking side. And he gets a 6,000 extra attack for his damage side. And then he gets the modifier buff to his LB, which is an extra 500 times. So he gets an extra 700 times to his modifier. And this is an ignoring defense like Van Harma. So an extra 700 to that, bringing him exactly to the 1800 times classic for everyone in the meta right now. But he's mostly used for his tanking anyway. So if you want to deal some damage with him on the kill turn, why not? If you're still using this very old unit for some reason. I don't think anyone is, but just saying. Next in the slew of EX abilities we are getting in this patch is our last unit here, Red Mage Ingus. So if you remember, Red Mage Ingus got crowns a while back, actually. I was about to say not too long ago, but no, a while back. And now he is getting some EX abilities. Since he is mostly focused on, he was mostly focused on his LB or trying to make magic relevant again. They had a decision to make here, and now they decided to go with magic relevant again with him. So they are giving him a 200% amplify for all his elements, so fire, ice, and lightning. An extra 1500 modifier for all his spells, and a focus here on his cooldown ability. Sadly, this is an 8-turn cooldown, only for 3 turns. So that's a little unfortunate. And then the rest that he gets is this here with an extra 8,000 magic because he sorely needed it, and an extra 2,000 times modifier for all spells. So that is 3,500 times modifier to all spells on top of this little 300 here, and what his LB does as well. So we're at 3,800 right now. Let's go see. So 3,800, and oh my god. That's 4,300. No. Well, if you so 4,300 if you're using the raw spells, and 4,450 if you're using the Gauss spells. And once again, this is like, only for 1 turn of damage, because you have to cast the modifier buff with the cooldown ability. You have to use his LB, and then those are both 3 turns only. So the big 1 damage turn that he will be using, quad casting his spell at, well, we're mostly going to be using the, no, I guess since, I don't know, he doesn't have any, he doesn't have the tag chaining thing with the reflect, so if you wanted to use him for reflect and use the chaos wave or awaken the Gauss spell, you would need to have somebody else to give him chaining abilities, like Aerith, I guess, or Roos. No, Roos doesn't work because it's only for 1 ability. So yeah, using Aerith to give him that, and you'd need to bring either Steiner or Dagger, and then unleash him. Let's see, how much would that be? So 72 plus 4450 times 4 times 6. My goodness. And then let's divide it by 3. Oh, well, not bad. Because I don't need to divide it by 3. That's 100. Wow, 100,000 times modifier. I must have calculated something wrong. I don't know. Anyway, pretty high modifier if you're bringing people just for that, but you're bringing some, not dead weight, but dead-ish weight. So you have to take that into account. So like 100,000 times modifier if you are doing this, but you need to have a team which would also fit Garnet and Aerith, and I don't think Aerith is gathering. Otherwise they could fit in a gathering team maybe. That's a headache. Don't do it. It's only for 1 turn of damage anyway. But yeah, that was the last. But I have to say though, I am actually happy that they are going in another direction for that unit. Like trying some other stuff finally, because just filling LB, unleashing LB at some point is pretty mind numbing. So having something different feels refreshing. It's nice. So thank you, Alan, for this. If anyone at Alan is listening, we all know no one at Alan is listening. Thank you for this. Next, we can take a look. Even though you all know what the events are at this point, you probably all farmed it all out. So we got a series event with a box, a Mog King, and what you are getting in that were fragments for very old Noctis, not even NV plus Noctis, sadly. So that's Old Man Noctis, Furion, so NV plus Furion, Lost Nation Rain, Cloud and Zac, NV plus Tidus, who got crowns not too long ago, if I remember correctly, so that's pretty cool. Lightning, if you didn't have any X3 Lightning, like me, so I'm very happy that now she's finally X3 thanks to this. NV plus Tyvus, so that's the old Tyvus, Hero Resurrected Tyvus. This is Jacked, the Dark support. Yeah, that's yeah, the Dark Jacked. That came with Lulu, was it? So not NV plus, super old unit, never used anymore. And also Onion Knight, so the NV plus Onion Knight, who is also not EX3 on my account. So great, thank you for that. And that would be it for the fragments. And last but not least, we are getting another party skill fight. So as I hinted at earlier, this is Tato Omega. Omega, so where? Sorry. We are getting the last killers for party skills, I think. I think those are the only two that we didn't have. So Beast and Plant. And also a another ability here, which is a 20% all element resist for the party, so that can come in handy sometimes if you don't need any extra killer or any resistance for charm, stop, or death. That can be something you want to use. It can help you take less damage on a Dark Visions. So yeah, that was it for this very, very late video. Sorry once again for being so late. You know me. When I am not around, when a banner drops, I get very lazy and I do it 1,000 years later. So welcome to the future in 1,000 years. Anyway, I hope. Oh yeah. Personally, I was more a fan of Snovlinka. I know Ruse probably is more meta with having lightning in his elements, but personally, I prefer Snovlinka for the flexibility and support she brings. But both are extremely good units. I did pull for Snovlinka, and I got her. Sadly, she's not EX1, I only got one copy. I didn't get a single copy of Ruse, sadly, but while pulling for Ruse, I got a Bart, so I can't complain. Even though, you know, Bart is massively power crept by now, he's still a very good support unit for some content, as you will see later tonight when I record this fight against Super Thick Omega. So good luck on your pulls if you haven't pulled yet, and see you in the next video, which will not be in that long when I make my Omega fight later tonight. Thanks for joining in. Bye!